Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney. It's Tuesday, September 22nd. I've got your top headlines for you from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. Thank you very much for choosing to be here to get filled in on what is impacting you here in Northeast Ohio. This is a very exciting week for us here on 3 News Now because 3 News Now is now available as a podcast. I'm very excited to have one more way to connect with our Northeast Ohio audience and bring you all the news that you need to know to stay in the loop about what's going on around us. It's very easy to find. It is definitely on your favorite podcast provider's platform. We made sure of that. You can find it everywhere: iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Podbean, SoundCloud. The list goes on. So all you have to do to find it is search 3 News Now with Stephanie Haney. And 3 News is one word, and it is the letter 3. So there's no space between 3 and the word news. Now, if you do like podcasts, we would very much appreciate if you do subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. That does help us get in front of more people so that we can all connect here in the fabulous Northeast Ohio. Now let's get into the news of the day. Today is Tuesday, September 22nd, and it is National Voter Registration Day. This is a day that serves as a reminder to let people know about the deadlines in every state. Now, here in Ohio, the deadline to register to vote is October 5th. That is only 13 days away, and we are coming up very close to that presidential election. It is 42 days away right now. That is just about 6 weeks away. So in order to get registered to vote, you can do that online. I've tweeted out that link. We also have the link on WKYC.com, but there are also places having in-person voter registration events today. A couple of them that we know of for sure. Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse is having one today that started at 10 a.m. and that goes until 2 p.m. And while you're there, you can register to vote. You can check your status and make sure it's up to date in case you've recently moved to see if maybe your polling place has changed. And also make a plan to vote. That includes trying to figure out whether you're going to be voting by mail. Of course, if you're going to do that, you need to request your absentee ballot, or if you'll be voting in person, and whether you're going to do that in person early, which starts October 6th here in Ohio, or on Election Day, which is November 3rd. So that's happening at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Also, something to know about that event: Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse has a very cool collaboration with the company Ilthy, and they have a limited edition vote apparel collection, a bunch of t-shirts, a bunch of sweatshirts, a bunch of hats, really cool designs. It says Cleveland turns up to vote, and that's absolutely what we want to see. We definitely want to see Cleveland turn up to vote. I recently retweeted that as well, so you can find that on my Twitter page _Stephanie Haney. So you can get that in the atrium at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, and also online. If you want to get that online, it's at cavaliersteamshop.com/vote. Now, another event that's happening in the Cleveland area tonight is at the 6th City Sailors Club. That's on Euclid Avenue, East 6th Street, downtown Cleveland. That's from 4:30 to 8 o'clock. That event is being held in cooperation with the Downtown Cleveland Residents Association. So if you'd like to register to vote in person or check your status or make a plan, you can do that there as well. Another thing happening tonight: the Greater Cleveland Association of Black Journalists is hosting a panel tonight. It's called Trump versus Biden and the Black Vote, and it will be co-hosted by our very own 3 News anchor, Russ Mitchell. He is the Vice President of Broadcast for the Greater Cleveland Association of Black Journalists. He'll be co-hosting that with the Vice President of Print, Rhonda Crowder. So that starts at 7 p.m. tonight. It is free. There is limited registration to be an in-forum attendee. Of course, this will be virtual, but there's limited registration for that, and we've got the link for that. I also tweeted that out. You can find that at _Stephanie Haney. The panelists that they'll be talking to tonight are Donna Walker Brown, who is the executive committee chair of the Cuyahoga County Republican Party, and also Chantel Brown, who is the chair of the Cuyahoga County Democratic Party. So they'll be talking about issues that are important to Black voters and what that looks like for the Republican Party and the Democratic Party as we, again, get very close to this presidential election, when we are looking at a contest between current President Donald Trump, who is a Republican, and the Democratic presidential nominee, former Vice President Joe Biden. So again, that is tonight at 7 p.m. Now let's take a look at the controversy that's been happening in Rootstown. There are more resignations, but not the superintendent, which is what some people have been calling for. Now, to remind you, here's what happened in Rootstown. The coach of the Rootstown football team, Troy Spiker, resigned, and here's why he's resigned. There was a white football student who was accused of using racial slurs repeatedly. Well, Spiker had benched that player, but the player was reinstated by Superintendent Andrew Hawkins, and Spiker did not agree with that and resigned after only 2 games. Well, after that, lots of people were calling for the resignation of Hawkins. There were some people who supported him, but some people were calling for his resignation as well. Well, last night at a school board meeting, 2 members of the school board stepped down. Stephen Vasbinder and Scott Krieger both stepped down, effective immediately during last night's school board meeting in Rootstown. So the board president, Amanda Weish, did not give a specific reason why they did, but the suspension and the reinstatement of that football player who's accused of repeatedly using the racial slurs was a topic of conversation at that board meeting. Several members of the community were calling for Hawkins to resign. Others made comments that seemed kind of vague, seemed like they might be in support of Hawkins. One person said, sometimes good people with good intentions make bad mistakes. Not clear whether that person was referring to the student or to the coach or to the superintendent. Another person said, to do what's right, even when it's hard, that's leadership. However, there was at least one person who expressed support for Hawkins. This woman, who says that she has known Hawkins for years, said, for someone to declare that he's a racist, well, I'm going to stand here as an African-American person to tell you that is absolutely not true. Saying that it's not true, not necessarily qualifying that statement. Here's what Hawkins told 3 News. He says that he will not consider resigning. He says he wants to be a part of a solution, but he did not elaborate on what that solution would look like. And he said that there is an investigation being done by the district right now. So here's what we know right now. 2 members of the school board have resigned. Hawkins has not resigned, and the coach previously resigned. We'll be following this and letting you know what is happening in Rootstown. Now, taking a look at Major League Baseball, the Tribe could have clinched a playoff spot last night, and they did their part, but it was not to be last night, but it could happen for them tonight. So here's where things stand. We are in the last week of the regular season of Major League Baseball. Yesterday, and still today, the Tribe is at number 7 ranked in the American League. Well, in this shortened season, in this new playoff format, 8 teams in the American League will make the playoffs. So last night, if the Tribe had beat the Chicago White Sox and the Houston Astros beat the Seattle Mariners, that would have meant that there was absolutely no way that the Tribe could fall before the 8th slot and was definitely going to make the playoffs. Well, Cleveland held up its end of the bargain. It did beat the Chicago White Sox last night 7-4, but not the Astros. The Mariners beat the Astros 6-7. So today, Cleveland finds itself still number 7 in the American League, and they have a chance tonight. And the good news is tonight, we don't need anybody else's help. We could do it on our own. We could also do it with someone else's help, but here are the 2 ways that Cleveland baseball could clinch a playoff spot tonight. If the Tribe beats Chicago tonight, or if the Houston Astros beat the Seattle Mariners tonight. Either of those things happen, and the Tribe officially have landed a spot in the playoffs. This would be their 4th playoff appearance in the last 5 years. So Cleveland takes on Chicago tonight at Progressive Field at 6:10, and Houston takes on Seattle tonight at 9:10 p.m. So we will keep you updated online on WKYC.com and our WKYC app and let you know as soon as we know if the Tribe have clinched that playoff spot, and we'll keep playing after this week. One more story to end things on for you today. Austin Love, turns out, is quite the cook, and he has a secret crack white chicken chili recipe. He calls it that because he says it's very addictive. He says there's no actual crack in the chili, though. That's a good thing. We like to hear that. I think this is my favorite part of the recipe, which we do have on WKYC.com and our WKYC app. It calls for a rotisserie chicken to be shredded. Now, I'm not saying that Austin Love can't cook a rotisserie chicken. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that you can get a rotisserie chicken at pretty much any grocery store, so you don't have to cook it. So that definitely makes it a little bit easier if you're going to be making this white chicken chili. Now, Austin Lev is not here to defend himself and explain whether he's actually cooking up that rotisserie chicken or just buying one from the grocery store, which are great, by the way. When I did eat meat, I used to love them very much. My favorite part was actually the chicken skin. That is a whole nother topic. But he's not here to defend himself because he works bright and early in the morning. So we're free to draw our own conclusions. So I'm going to guess that he's probably picking up that rotisserie chicken from the grocery store. Some of the other ingredients: diced tomatoes and green chilies, black beans, corn, chicken broth, chopped bacon, all of the makings for a really good fall chili. Today is the first official day of fall. So if you want to check that out, if you would like to make your own version of this white chicken chili, we have that linked on WKYC.com and our WKYC app. That is it for the morning edition of 3 News Now on Tuesday, September 22nd. I'll be back here in just a little bit with those updated numbers from the Ohio Department of Health as soon as we get those in, and more headlines that are topping WKYC.com. Everyone stay safe, be well, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and I will see you back here in just a little bit. I'm Stephanie Haney.